Have you ever wondered why does Nigeria have to be running away from their own motherland? That is a hard question. This is a situation whereby the political class has stolen the future of the nation. What a tragedy. The reason why many Nigerians prefer to live and study or even to work in other countries, we have to dissect into all of that. One of that reason is educational opportunities. Yes, because so many Nigerians seek higher education abroad due to the higher standard and quality of education offered in outside Nigeria. Even the political classes, they prefer taking their children instead of them to regulate, to rectify, to fix the problem they have caused to the nation. They'll rather take their children. They'll rather take their children to the Western countries, whereby leaders over there are using their heads. They respect their citizens. The religious leaders there are not manipulating their people. Traditional rulers there are respecting their people. They prefer taking their children to society like that. There you will now understand better that politicians in Nigeria can never save you except you take your country back. And now you can actualize all of that to take your country back, for we to take our nation back, is for we to first of all renew our mind, to renew our way of reasoning, our way of thinking. Even the sacred book helps us to understand. He said, how can a man be transformed? Applicable to nation, how can a society transform without the renewal of the people's mind? We must learn how to wear our thinking cap for we to able to be thinking based on truth, based on facts, and based on principles, not just based on assumption. You just assume anyone that have nothing to offer, you just assume that whenever he get to office, he's going to offer you heaven here on earth. That is why you are seeing all this drama. They are stealing habits. You are seeing unbearable condition everybody find themselves. That is why you see that everybody's already sitting down the gunpowder in Nigeria. Or are you going to tell me that you have forgotten so soon about ASUU, the Academic Staff Union of Universities? A situation whereby they often strike due to various grievances with the government, primarily concerning founding money that they are all stealing here and there for tertiary education, salary, and working conditions. The most recent strike that went on the other day, action by ASUU at the University of Abuja here, which is called Uni Abuja. It has been a topic of concern for everyone, with calls for its resolution. Other reason why Nigerians prefer to run to other countries whereby leaders can use their head other than their own motherland is accommodation issue. Yes, their houses, go to Lagos these days.
Carrying mattresses, buckets, and cooking pots away from the wreckage. This is Ilasan Housing Estate, a low-income settlement in Lagos, Nigeria. A state with a housing deficit of about 3 million units, according to a report. The Ilasan Housing Estate was among the 16 housing estates built by the former governor of Lagos State, Lateef Jakonde, during the Second Republic. At the time, the construction of hundreds of apartment blocks across different communities in Lagos was considered innovative and impactful through creating jobs for artisans and providing housing for those with low incomes. Simply called the low housing estate, they were allocated to and occupied by people below what was then known as middle class. Over time, however, the estate have been renamed Jakande Estate by residents and beneficiaries. Then, the abrupt end of the Second Republic happened through a military coup which derailed the developmental effort of the then civilian government, with Lagos among the areas most affected as the coup halted construction of the housing projects. Years later, the atmosphere in the Lassan estate had greatly changed and the general layout deviated from the original plan. Many of the early occupants of this Jakande estate were evicted residents of the Morocco community, pulled down in July 1990 by the military administration headed by Raji Rasaki. About 300,000 persons lost their homes through that first eviction, described as the largest in Nigeria's history. Government's publicized reason at that time was that Morocco was below sea level and so unsafe for habitation. About 30 years after the demolition, the entire area formerly known as Morocco is now filled with beautiful architectural design surrounded by high walls and gates. The sea level may not be an issue any longer.
When Morocco was destroyed in 1990, my mom told me the story when federal government come to destroy Morocco. My elder father, Chief Onai, he fell from story building down. They took him home. Because of the challenges, all of us will go home.
They promise heaven and earth they are going to research us fully. Up to this date, if not because of international organizations. Look at our buildings. Some were uncompleted. When we reach here, we place windows. Are you not Nigerians?
Wọ́n dá wàsá dáwọ́ ní Morocco, wọ́n tún dé Lasambi, wọ́n tún dá wàsá dáwọ́ ní Jakande. Gbogbo wọn kò sẹ́ni tó rí lé, wọn ò rí lé gbà o.
3 decades after the relocation to the Lassan estate, successive governments seem to have forgotten the estate exists, leaving the former Morocco resident with uncompleted buildings and empty land. These resulted in makeshift structures being erected haphazardly, further diminishing the estate's initial design. The large-scale demolition brings this situation to the forefront once more.
There must be law and order in the states. We can't just let people be able to do whatever they want to do and whenever they feel like. This is just to tell you that just as Mr. Governor has directed, anybody trying to change the urban development plans of the state would not be allowed. And this is a strong statement that all our spaces will be governed and will be manned. We want a situation where we can account for everybody within the state.
Godspar Dixon, a 56-year-old landlord of an 18-room flat, has been left homeless along with his 4 children. He stares at what remains of his home, and his family now sleeps in a makeshift tent by the roadside.
All my schools sat. My son's school sat. We couldn't be able to find them. I and my children see my things outside here. A lot of my things has been missed. We couldn't be able to correct something that is very important for us.
This is where the Muslim faithful would naturally do their ablution before going into the mosque. But as you can see right now, it has become deserted.
They don't thief our iron finish now. They see they go again, they pack again. When government don't break our house, we will manage again. They see they thief our thing.
See they happen now. No, say government no get a party. No, say they will just come in and scatter everything without quick notice.
This is part of the estate where we have block 78, 75, 82, and the rest.
And you can see some of this place, the structure has been put down, and some of the structure that has been put down, they have allocation letter given to them. It's because the estate was not completed when the people moved down here, and yet the government did not build the place. And we went to court to get an injunction over an emergency structure for people to erect a structure so that they can live upon. And besides it, you can look by this side of the estate where we have block of shops, and then we have a Kizito hospital here that has not, they didn't touch it.
They left some and kept some. Everything is the same thing. Why? Why? We are all living in the same area. It's like they just have it in mind because they don't want to develop here. They want us to live. They don't want to pay. They came numbering the whole buildings here to pay us. They now came to remove everything so that they won't pay them. When everybody finds their way, they will not pay now.
The deeper we go into Jakande Estate, we get to see many more structures that have been pulled down. A perfect example is this very, very huge landmass here, which used to contain about 150 houses and could easily fit a stadium, a mini stadium if you would say, has now been brought down and left to rubbles. But directly opposite this same structure is a church, Assemblies of God, that has become a safe haven for people who have been affected by this demolition.
See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with me.
6 relatives,
yes.
And they get their own picking too for here.
Everybody they get picking. I don't buy the place. Now my husband do room with toilet, with kitchen. I don't reach 10 years for a year for that Japan. Now they never tell me anything. I they still if they want everybody make a come out, don't go break them.
They were struggling with their property, and then since everywhere was a kind of overwhelmed with the magnitude of the demolition exercise, we had to do that to accommodate them. So it has nothing to do with whether one is that's one's religious leaning.
Ifeanyi has to make do with a makeshift structure since the demolition left him without adequate housing.
We be 5. The Nigerians don't go work because they no fit stay here. We be 5.
So you pay them before they even...
We pay them 10,000 before they go leave this side. The roof self gone. At Tapoli we want to use cover because of the sun and mosquito. The only thing they let us know when we hear, they say na coastal road they want to do. You get, and the coastal road say they want to do coastal road this year. Which of our coastal road be that?
Even a 1.8 million naira community cold room used jointly as a trading venture and storage facility for fresh foods was not spared.
Kito wa láti ọ̀nà àjà ká tó débí wọ́n ti fọ́kò rúùmù yẹn wọ́n lọ mọ́lẹ̀ gbogbo property wa tó wà nú ẹ̀ wọ́n ti kó lọ àwọn sílẹ̀dà àwọn engine mi ò tẹ̀ mórúkọ tán pé gbogbo kíní àwọn kankan àti àwọn ẹja míì tó wà nú ẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ làwọn ọmọ olè ti kó lọ. Ó wá surprise me even Mr. Orioye tún sọ fún mi pé òun bẹ̀ wọ́n pẹ̀lú 20,000 ó lọ́dẹ̀ gba 20,000 náà promise òun pé àwọn ò ní wo lẹ́yìn yẹn náà wá wo.
Heavy machinery continued demolition rooms, porches, and outdoor cooking areas, wiping away the community built over years in just a few hours.
Bus stop.
Along this long stretch of road, only the police station and the church were spared. Many of the people who have this place as home earn as low as 2,000 naira per day. They lack the resources to rapidly secure new shelter.
This place now they see money pay my daughter's fees. Now she go right to Aiki. In 3 months' time she go right to Aiki. She go find house for Langbasa. My daughter go from Langbasa, they come school here.
Because I'm not happy that I'm outside for the past of 4 days. My 5 children, nowhere to go. I don't have money to rent us. They destroy where I'm staying.
We don't have strength to fight the government, but what we're pleading is that they should try and help us. Should give us a helping hand. We're living in abject poverty and we've been able to at least help each other, and this one happens.
My house is affected, and as well as my school.
The primary school and the secondary school is affected.
Give us money, more go find better house, more to live.
The elders have selected this area to thoughtfully discuss the path forward, as the community hall was also raised.
The task force that the Sanwo-Olu government sent that they don't have a listening here. They didn't listen to us upon all the pleas, all the talks with them that they should leave this all for the community so that we can use it to conduct our meeting, use it to do all what we want to do concerning the community. The all has been put down now.
It's part of Morocco that is at Dolphin Estate. They rebuilt their own for them. It was a HFP that rebuilt that place. Do we offended the government? Part of us at Ekpe. Part of us is at Ikotaye. Why? Why Jack when they call enter their eye? If they want to rebuild it, they can resettle us here. Anywhere where they like, they should resettle.
Can you now see the confusion, the level of confusion on the minds of the people due to the failures of the leaders in the nation? So accommodation problem is one of those issues why Nigerians are running away from their mother's land. Other reason is financial constraints. Economic difficulties can also play a role, a vital role. Sometimes students may not be able to afford the cost associated with attending university, such as tuition, books, and living expenses, which can lead to problem of staying at home until they can secure the necessary funds. So are we going to talk about the insecurity in the land, prejudice, a lot of atrocity committed by this same political class? Let me allow you to listen to the rest of the agony Nigerians are going through in the hands of the leaders that are supposed to protect and guide the interests of their citizens.
That's well. Because they may be thinking, say, they have power. Power of God is more than.
Presently, the destruction is paused as stakeholders engage with Lagos officials to find an amenable resolution.
Our resolution in that meeting was that they should stop the demolition. The chairman of the committee also instructed the landlord or the resident of the estate that they should not erect any structure. We are still hoping that when they call us for the second meeting, we will know what they want to say, what will be on the table, then we'll discuss.
For decades, residents have called this community of makeshift tents and shacks home. But now, the bulldozer have come to clear the land.
Prior to this, if you notice, you will see that we are not touching those bona fide buildings. The only ones that they are touching are the shanties that cannot be accounted for. However, before this exercise, there have been a lot of sensitization. You remember we came here on Sunday to even warn them. And also those buildings that you are seeing, those buildings are already dilapidated already. One can even see them right now. And there have been inventory of everyone. So everyone that has legal documents have been inventorized. We already know where they are, and then we will get to them.
This story underscores the human impact of progress. For development to be equitable, those who should be the beneficiaries deserve to find a place in the planning process. They should not be left to bear the worsened pain of their vulnerability. As Lagos modernizes, it should seek methods to involve, not remove, the poor who considers its streets home. Their hardship warrant being observed and listened to as the city maps out a new path forward. Only then can authentic progress be achieved that elevates